Hello, everyone. Welcome back to FPL Jedi Show. Today we have an, uh, an a guest from FPL Runpharm, Leong, with us today. We are doing Game Week 1 FPL Draft, and we are honored to have Leong coming to today's stream. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. A bit rusty from last season because after FPL ended last season, I actually took a long break, so I skipped the Euro Fantasy as well, and even after, after auto pick for the getting the fast ID, I actually left my team and without doing any draft until now. Until I got a call from Hafiz just now. I think this afternoon that I got an invite, so I'm just glad to be here. But then I just quickly put in maybe some thoughts into how I want to make my first draft. So this is actually my first draft. So I don't have any before this other than the auto pick one. So I'm glad to actually put some thoughts into FPL again.
All right. Thanks, Leong, for such a short notice to join me tonight to just talk through your team. And maybe before we start, just a bit introduction to Leong. He's definitely one of the um, um, content creator and also active in our FPL community under FPL Rafram. And you've been playing like 7 to 8 years. And but at the same time, you're also writing for articles in football, fantasy football scout. Can you just share with us a bit on that?
Yeah, actually, I started playing about, I think, as you mentioned, 7 to 8 years ago. But those times when I started playing, I didn't realize that there are so many deep stuff about FPL. I just thought when you go in, you just put in a team and then you do your transfer every week. I didn't realize there's so much behind the scene information that you can get, and also how you should look at stats like XG, all those stuff. So you just put in a team, and sometimes I miss deadline, sometimes I just give up in the middle of the season. The real time that I started playing it seriously was probably 3 seasons ago. So this is maybe the fourth season that I plan to play FPL seriously. And the thing that really motivates me to start, digging in more about FPL is when I read some books about FPL, and I thought, oh, there's so much that I actually don't know about it. So I started to spend more time and look more into it. And also, I'm glad to be part of the a very big Malaysian community that actually took FPL really seriously. So we are, if not wrong, we are actually the third most number of participants in the world
Mm,
in playing playing
yep.
FPL. So yeah, so keep it up, and hopefully by appearing on this show today, I can offer some of my insights to the audience. So as you can see from my name, FPL Run Farm. So run stands for running. So I'm a marathon runner.
Oh,
Yeah, and also farm is pharmacist. So I'm a full-time pharmacist, and other than running and pharmacist, then FPL is another of my passion in life. So yeah, that's basically all about it. And also you mentioned about the articles. Yeah, I like to write, so I have some articles published in the Scout, as you mentioned, and also mostly I write on Twitter. So if you're on Twitter, maybe you realize that I like to write those long threads. So yeah, I tried to do some pods and YouTube videos, but then life commitments maybe restricted me to appearing it on long term. So again, this season maybe it's more about articles. If I have the time, then I'll write. If I don't, then I won't. So yeah, it's more flexible that way.
okay. Glad to hear
Mhm.
that. And also one fact is you're one of the big fan of Newcastle United, and also you're doing some like daily deadliners. Can you just share a bit? Right.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm a fan. Of course, you can see from the jersey.
Yep.
Okay. A fan of Newcastle United since I'm like around 7 or 8 years old when I started watching football. So it's a roller coaster ride because we have some relegations, I think twice. and then we have some up and downs in qualifying for Europe, and also we actually missed out the title twice, finishing second. So it's hard to support the club, but I also believe that we need to stay loyal for something we love. Okay, and then also you mentioned that in Twitter actually we have some sort of prediction group, because
Yep.
nowadays there are a lot of leaks in Twitter on FPL.
Mhm.
So the leaks usually appear like 10, 15 minutes before the deadline, and some of us, we don't have enough time to react to the leaks. So what I and my team, with if you can find the page called Jump the Wave in Twitter, what we offer is we actually posted our predictions. We means that we are maybe 5 or 10 big fan of the club that have some knowledge about the club, not necessarily insider news, but we'll do our predictions maybe a day before the deadline on what are the likely lineups, and we also will post the percentage. Maybe I'm 100% sure that this guy will start, so I'll put it 100%. If I'm less certain, I'll put it like 60, 50%. Then we'll post it one day before, so the managers can have more time to plan about who they want in their team and who's more nailed, rather than just depending on the leaks that sometimes are untrue. Of course, there are so many fake leaks last season,
Yep.
and also there's a lot of last minute leaks that cause chaos.
Yep.
So yeah,
We've
I'm
been
not
there.
sure if I will do it again this season, but most likely yes. So to follow my page, if to see. Yeah,
I just want to mention you. I'm a big fan. I follow your Twitter, and also
thank you,
I
thank you.
also when we want definitely for me when I'm looking at how Newcastle going to line up, I definitely
Mhm,
going to see your prediction in terms of your
mhm.
prediction lineup, so then we can uh, plan for our team. So I just want to mention that continue
Yeah,
your good work for sure.
thank you.
Right. So just before we jump into your team, as you all know, the new season introduced some new features, and I think the big one is definitely we are going to have an opportunity to roll transfer up to five uh, roll transfer. Okay, can I say that? Some mix in terms of how people think about these features. But how about you,
Oh,
Leong?
yeah. So if you can see, if based on what you see from my history, I'm not a manager that like to take hits every week. Maybe the max hits that I'll take is, I think, five is the max the per season I'll take. So last season I took 3 hits
Hmm,
in total, and I
wow, wow.
definitely love to roll my transfer. So this is
Okay.
a change that I feel is very welcoming for me. So if any manager that will manage to go to five transfers collected, I think I have a chance to get there. But of course, it depends. If you not It's not to say that taking hits is bad, because you see a lot of top managers, they are successful in taking hits as well. But then it's just my style of play, so I believe it's something that could benefit my game. We'll see.
All right, good stuff. Let's look at the first uh, game week 1 to game week 6 fixture before we look at your team. As you can see, in terms of fixture ticker from Fantasy Football Scout, we can see here at the top of the ticker is Fulham. For the first 6 game weeks, they have really good fixture, other than maybe the first game away to Manchester United. Then we all know about Liverpool fixture. People are jumping to them. Then Southampton to an extent, Crystal Palace. We know some people like from Palace, except from defense up to the striker, like Mateta, Villa, Manchester United, Forest. Okay, and at the bottom of the ticker, even though Arsenal and Man City, we all know about Man City, regardless about the fixture. But the Brentford and Wolves are the top bottom two in terms of fixture ticker. So, what you can gather from this first game, which team that you are looking at?
Okay, if you ask most FPL managers which are the two top teams that go into this season, of course, I think 90% of them would still say that Man City and Arsenal are the two top contenders. I'm sure you agree as well, because based on how strong the recruitment Arsenal did this season, and also Man City actually they maintain the core they have last season. So again, people expect it to be a two-horse race, but if you look at this fixture ticker, they are actually close to the bottom. So do we actually define them based on how bad their fixture are, or do we actually look into their teams and see that actually they have a lot of players that are fixture proof? So this is the question that we need to ask ourselves when we pick the team. Of course, Liverpool, we know that everyone will storm into them, buy the players because their fixtures look good. But then um, we are there's so many uncertainties in that team. Changing the manager, changing the playing style. We look at some friendlies that we have recently. He's still Slot is still trying to experiment with different lineups, and he have players returning late
Yep.
from the Euros, from the Copa America. So there are so many uncertainties. So does it mean that when they are top in the fixture ticker, do we want to go straight away triple up on Liverpool? Maybe we have to think about that again. So I I try not to look too much into the fixture ticker, but if you look at my lineup later, you might be surprised that there are certain players that are not present from um,
Mhm.
Arsenal and Man City. Yeah.
All right, good stuff. I think let's jump to your team, Leong. So this is your provisional game week one team draft. Can you just talk through your team and who's the main player that is not in your team?
Okay, so of course, I mentioned about Liverpool just now. So right away, um, I went with two Liverpool players. So we'll go team by team. So we go Liverpool first. Salah is there. It's the first name in the squad. So the way they price, of course, the price of premium this year. Of course, we know Haaland is that expensive. So I've looked at many drafts that contains Salah and Haaland in the team. So is it viable? Yes, it's viable, but then you have to make so many sacrifices in your team. So you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? And if let's say one of them don't start or both of them don't start as what expected, then can the other members of our team actually deliver? So for me right now, I forced myself to make a choice, and based on the fixtures alone, I went with Salah. So as you can see here, no Haaland in the team, and also Trent. Trent, of course, you saw the price reduction here from 8 million to 7 million this year. So I think for me, he's a lot more affordable right now, and for me, it's a bargain. So um, not just Ipswich, a lot of people choose it based on Ipswich away game week one, but you look at their fixtures right up to game week six is up there. So I just have to believe that they'll work somehow under Slot. So it's two players from Liverpool. After that, we look at Fulham. Of course, they have Man United in the first match, but after that, their fixtures look good. So we have Muniz in here as one of my forwards. Of course, you can see here he's in my bench because the away game against Man United, so I won't start him the first game. But then um, I'm not sure if he's in on penalty because last season Andreas Pereira took a lot of
Mhm.
his
Mhm.
penalties, but then I heard from a lot of Fulham fans that he will be the chief penalty taker this season.
Yep.
And also the price, of course, is very attractive. I think 6 million, if not mistaken.
Yep.
So I look at some cheaper strikers, 5.5 million. Of course, the hottest one probably right now is Armstrong from Southampton, and also Pedro, right? Pedro
Yep.
from Brighton, but he got injured a bit, and but he's back to training right now. So I look at the comparison, and I still prefer Muniz, maybe due to fixture and also due to maybe his last season form, where he's just so looks so good in front of a goal. So right now, I decided to spend the extra 0.5 to go with Muniz as my third striker. So next, okay, just now the third in the fixtures, who do we have? I think we have. Wait, I just have a look. Okay, Newcastle. Newcastle is actually quite high on the fixtures
Yep.
list. So um, I got an interesting question from you just now that you expected three Newcastle players right away in my team. So of course, some people might say that the first game in Southampton easy at
Yep.
home. We are strong at home. So why not just right away put in three Newcastle players? Is that then probably people have Gordon, and
Yep.
then who else they have? They have maybe Dan Burn as a cheap
Then,
defender.
yeah. Or
Yeah,
Livramento. We'll see about
Livramento. Yeah, if
Trippier is
Trippier
not
leave,
in.
then yeah, we have Livramento. So right now, Eddie Howe has come out and told the media that Trippier will stay. So I'm not
Okay.
sure how true with it, because of course we know that everything that came out from his mouth we cannot believe it 100%
Okay.
from our experience last season. But if you look at the fixtures closely, um, after the Southampton game, we have Bournemouth away. And then Spurs at home, we have good record against Spurs, so I guess that's a good fixtures for us. But then game week 4, we have Wolves away, and then game week 5, we have Fulham away. So that's 3 away games in four games after the game week 1. So if you look at our away record last season, is really terrible. So um, for me, the defense, especially our away defense, is horrible last season. So of course, today I heard some news that we are going for Mark Gahey from Crystal
Oh,
Palace. I'm not
oh,
sure we'll
interesting.
sign him, but I heard the price is 60 million, so might be too expensive for us to afford. So maybe it will change, but then I feel that the away games, 3 away games out of 4 after game week 1 might be a factor that I choose to go just one Newcastle. And also Gordon, of course, there's a lot of rumors that he's going Liverpool. So unless he come out and confirm that he's not going anywhere, then for now I'm not considering him at the moment. So after Newcastle, of course, who else I have? Okay, so we go. Okay, maybe we go to goalkeeper first. So for me, I always my mantra of playing the game is not to spend big on the goalkeeper. So I never buy any 5.5 million goalkeeper. Um, like who else we have this season? Raya, Edison. So those are a no for me. So um, either I go with a rotation, both 4.5 goalkeepers, or I just go with one fixed 4.5 goalkeeper and one 4.0 goalkeeper who don't play at
Which
all.
what you are doing right now?
Yeah,
4.5,
which is what I'm
4.2.
doing right now. Yeah, because this season we don't really have any 4.0 goalkeepers that are confirmed to start yet. So I just choose anyone for now. And so Sanchez, of course, we have Chelsea signing a new goalkeeper. So we are not sure whether Sanchez will be the starting goalkeeper or not. So we have to see. So we have to monitor. So he's not there, but my main placeholder there is the 4.5 million goalkeeper. Then I will look into how it shows because the Forest fixtures attract me as well, and they also have two very attractive
Yep.
4.5 million goalkeeper in Sales, and I think the giant goalkeeper they signed
Is it
recently,
Miguel?
Miguel, yeah.
Miguel. Yeah.
So we have to see whether uh, the coach come out and say that oh this guy is the number one goalkeeper, but because right now I heard from the fans of Forest is Sales is going to start game week 1, but you're not
Yep.
sure who is going to be the next one, so I'm not going to gamble about to go there yet. So yeah, so and for the defender, of course, as we mentioned, this Poro actually just got another goal in the friendly. That is just
Okay.
currently happening. So we see last season he has a lot of attacking returns. He can score goals. He can assist. So for me, it's a no-brainer to put him in alongside Trent. So with these two, I consider Poro as a um, sort of premium defender. So
Yep.
with these two there, I have to go for some cheap guys in defense because we cannot go too heavy in defense. If we can do that maybe 4 or 5 seasons ago, but after that maybe not so. Especially also with the bonus points change as well, which
Oh.
doesn't favor defenders. So we almost have to be forced to choose at least one 4.0 defender that will start. So in my case, because you can see in my third bench, I have Barco. Right. So far, we know that Estepinian will be out for at least the first 3 games for Brighton. So Barco is almost guaranteed. I said almost because we know there's a lot of uncertainties and rotations with
Yeah.
Brighton. But for a 4.0 defender, we can just bench him even though he doesn't start. So for me, Barco has the most attacking threat if you compare to the other two more nailed defender on paper, which is Howard Bellis and also Faiz. Faiz from Leicester
Nice.
and
Yeah.
Howard Bellis from Southampton. So these are the two big names that people want to have in their team. So right now, I would rather have Barco, and I would even consider starting him in the first game against Everton away
Okay.
because
All right.
he is that attacking. And also next, I have two 4.5 defenders in Konsa and Anderson. So how do I decide on this? One of the factor is fixtures, of course, and also I look at the teams they represent. Villa is a strong team, and I'm really quite surprised that they have Konsa available at 4.5 million this season.
Okay.
And also Anderson, he has a lot of attack, quite a few attacking returns last season. So
Okay.
it's not just last season, I think the few seasons before as well. So my key comparison is between Konsa, Anderson, and also Robinson for Fulham, because as you can see, just now Fulham is on top of the fixtures
Ticker.
list. So I actually compared these three players, and I find that Konsa and Anderson actually rotates the best among their fixtures. So let's just say Trent and Poro is nailed starters for me, and I really just like to play three at the back. I usually I won't
Yeah.
switch to four at the back unless it's needed. So I feel like this is both of them have the best rotation. If you look at the fixtures again, maybe the first game week um, I'll go for Anderson, which is away to Brentford. Then second game week, I'll, I can go for Anderson again, which is at home against West Ham. Then third game week forward, Villa has a good run. Game week 3 away to Leicester. Game week 4 home Everton, and game week 5 home Wolves. So you can pick actually one of them and still have good fixtures. So
Yeah.
this is how my defenders work. So
So
so far,
basically, I can
any
see that
question?
Konza and Anderson will definitely rotate. Okay,
Yeah.
I think that's the main player that you're gonna
Mhm.
rotate, or maybe there's some fixture that you feel Barco should come in.
Yeah.
Over Anderson and Konsa,
Mhm.
but T and Poro will definitely be your mainstay.
Yeah, if I get any signs that Barco is definitely going to start, maybe I will downgrade one of Konsa and Anderson to a 4.0 defender, and then use the zero point 0.5 extra to upgrade my substitute goalkeeper. So this is what I'm thinking
Okay.
right now.
All right. Okay. Fair. Let's go to
So
your midfield,
midfield, yeah.
Leong. I can see Sun in there
Hmm.
as one of your, can I see him premium because priced at 10 million.
Yeah.
And then you have Combo Watkins and Isaac up front, but no
Hmm.
Haaland. Maybe you just touch a bit on Haaland. Are you feel okay not having Haaland because there's some definitely mixture of feeling when people thinking whether to have Haaland or not.
Hmm. Okay, so I'll just talk about Son first. So he has a rest. I think in this just like Salah and Haaland, he has a rest, and he still look as sharp as he can in the preseason games. And we actually don't know where he will play, because some says that Richarlison will start as striker. Some says that maybe they'll sign Solanke, and then Son will be forced to the left. So it depends. If he definitely plays as striker, then for me he's nailed on in my team. But even he doesn't, actually, if we look at last season's stats, he actually did quite well in the left. Actually, I think if not better, is almost comparable compared with when he played as striker. So also Spurs actually have a good start to the season. Leicester away, game week 1, and also Everton at home in game week 2. But after that, their fixtures turned quite badly, and so I can just maybe switch Son to someone else like Saka, or maybe when he gets even fitter or some preseason games, because he's currently resting in Euro, so we don't know what will happen to him. So right now, 10 million for me is okay, because if you compare to other premiums like Palmer, you need to spend extra 2.5 million over Son. So you have to ask yourself whether it's worth it, because since I mentioned Palmer, might as well I mentioned Nkunku as well. So this is another guy that Mariska came in and had a lot of praise for him, and he did very well in preseason. He
Yep.
is another uncertainty, because we don't see a lot of him last season in the league, but then because he's injured a lot. So this season, his price is actually quite unbelievable for everyone when he's announced, that people think, oh, is automatically going to be in my team. But when you get Nkunku, then what happens to Palmer? Because you're not going to double up on Chelsea midfield. So you have to ask yourself, is Palmer an absolutely must to have in your midfield? If not, then is Nkunku uh, a viable replacement, a direct replacement for Palmer? Because I believe that when Palmer comes back, he still will be the chief penalty taker, even though Nkunku takes a lot of penalty in the preseason friendly. So Eze again for me is a no-brainer. Crystal Palace,
Yeah.
their form is one of the best in the league, and going to last season, even though they lost Olise, I think they have actually signed some replacement in who else they signed? They signed Sar, they signed Kamada. So I think the manager will integrate these pieces in the teams to suitably replace Olise. So I don't think there's a lot of change in the way Palace play in the new season, and Eze will be the heart of their attack, whether it's offering assists or goals. So I think he's one of the new players that I won't change for Eze. And then we have Gibbs White. So another debate people have is when people saw the announcement of Hudson Odoi's price at 5.5.
Yep.
So right away, people put him in the team because he's that cheap, and he enables the team to get players like Haaland.
Yep.
So if you look at Gibbs White's past 2 seasons' performance, at first he's on penalty, and then second, he's actually quite consistent in terms of points and attacking returns. So the third thing is I like his minutes more than Hudson Odoi, who
Okay.
gets sub up a lot. So I rather spend that extra million on Gibbs White. And then for me, Gibbs White or even Nkunku can be rotated with Muniz to start Muniz if I need to. So moving on
Can
to
I say
striker,
Gibbs
yeah.
White in there is because of those fixture? If not, he might not be in your thinking. Can I say
Yeah,
that?
one of the reasons, of course, we look at the fixtures. Forest starts home against Bournemouth, away to Southampton, and home against Wolves. So these are three very winnable games for them. So yeah, it's actually also due to the fixtures as well. Um, then yeah, and in the striking department, because it's people who have Haaland, first you mentioned just now. Am I worried about not having Haaland? Yeah, I'm worried because everyone knows that game week 2 he has Ipswich. So no matter how low Man City is in the fixture sticker, um, they can just score plenty of goals against Chelsea, Ipswich, West Ham, um, Brentford in the first 4 games. I don't think it's something hard for them to do. And based on Haaland's preseason form, of course, we know that he has a minor injury. So we have to see whether he starts the Community Shield or not as well. But for me right now, like I mentioned just now, we cannot have Salah and Haaland together. So based on what I decide right now is I decide to go Salah. So Haaland is definitely not in my plan. And if you don't
Okay.
have Haaland for game week 1, then you definitely can't get him for game week 2 unless you take a hit. So
Which
yeah, there's something
which
you are prepared
definitely
to risk.
that should not be the plan if you're thinking that. I suppose if you
Yeah,
plan without Haaland, it will your team will stay for the next few weeks
yeah.
before you decide to.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one good thing about this is we have the five transfers that we can store.
Yep.
So as we know, we have the international break in game week between game week 3 and 4, and
Yep.
also between game week 7 and 8. So a lot of managers are planning to use their wildcard in this international break.
Okay.
So if let's say the Salah plan doesn't work, you can always wildcard in these two international breaks and still have your five transfers for another mini wildcard if you need it in maybe game week 12 or 13. So this is another advantage that we can take the risk on not having Haaland, for in my opinion. And so why do I go Watkins as my second striker? Even though he's that expensive and he's probably not on penalties. So we look at the fixtures. They start away to West Ham. West Ham actually strengthened a lot with a lot of good signings this season, so it'll be a tough game. But after that, home against Arsenal, we saw what Villa did against Arsenal last season. So they are very capable of causing problem to Arsenal. And then away to Leicester. After that, they have home against Everton and home against Wolves. So we know how strong Villa is at home and how good Watkins is at home in scoring goals. So based on that, again, based on fixtures, I choose to go with Watkins. So yeah, this is basically what I have for now. So as you
Yep.
can see here, no Arsenal and no Man City for now. So
All right.
there's no Saliba, no Gabriel, no Guardiola, and no Haaland, and of course no Foden, which is
Yep.
probably won't start game week 1, and no Saka as well, which
Yep. Oops.
might be tired from the Euros.
Understand.
That might change. That might change. Yeah.
Yep, yep. But I suppose that's your reasoning. You're moving away from any Arsenal and Man City, and at any
Mhm.
juncture when you feel those players are back, they are clicking in, and you will bring
Mhm.
them on, and you can use just your wildcard. Because interestingly, this season,
Mhm.
if you don't use your say your few first transfer, 2 or 3 transfer, and then you decide to wildcard in 4, that
Yeah.
those transfer will be available
Yeah.
since you're not using it. So I think that's interesting things that it will we will play differently this season, because you have opportunity to wildcard and then save your transfer, and you can plan it smoothly after that. So I think that will be interesting.
Yeah. For me, that would be
Um,
equal to like four wildcards, one main wildcard, one mini wildcard, one main wildcard, one mini wildcard again. So there's a
yep,
lot of options
yep.
that we can consider.
Yeah, I think like that. I think your team is
Mhm.
good, especially without Hali in the team. You have plenty of money. That's why
Mhm.
you're having the best two main strike force up front
Mhm.
in the form of Watkins. Like I said, I think everyone got to envy that. You have
Mhm.
Salah and Son, and then at any juncture, if you feel you want to downgrade anyone, and perhaps you want to upgrade your midfield to a 8.5 million players like Odegaard, Bruno Fernandes, those kind of thing. You can just simply do that by downgrading EA if you want, or downgrading any one of those Nkuku Gibbs White later
Mhm.
during those weeks coming up. So I
Mhm.
feel your team is great, and I can say that looks like Isaac is in everyone team right now, and because Watkins and I said ownership, can I see around 50%, and most
Yeah.
likely they are in the top 5 that everyone owns. So yeah, solid. I like Sun in midfield, uh,
Mhm.
because we know the first two picture at least Spurs going to have a good one, uh, and also you we want to think about having a good start, right?
Yeah.
So with good players, then we can have a chance, a good first few weeks that going to propel to you to having a good season.
Yeah, I just
Okay.
want to add something because I got some news that Isaac is actually have a slight shoulder injury in this
Okay.
just ended game. I think just ended 1 hour ago in Japan.
Okay.
So he was sub out in the 45th minute, so we have to wait for more updates from Eddie Howe, but hopefully it's nothing serious. Otherwise, Wilson won't start game week 1, Isak won't start game week 1, so we have to start Osula, which we just signed as our third striker. So hopefully he's okay. And mostly, I think it's just we joined due to precaution. Yeah.
All right. Thank
Mhm.
you. Plenty good stuff, Leong. So this is the end of your FPL Game Week 1 draft. Hopefully, I think 80-90% will be there, your player, but it's still up in the air, and we have to see how the preseason will go, and especially next week when Charity Shield or Community Shield up,
Mhm.
Man City versus Manchester United, right? The FA Cup
Yeah,
winner.
yeah, correct, correct.
So it suddenly, if they say Man City players explode, then people will definitely think again
Mhm.
how you're going to approach those Man
Mhm.
City players. But
Yeah.
until then, good luck, and we hope to see you again in future. Yeah,
Yeah.
take
Thank
care.
you. Thanks for having me
Thank you,
today.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Bye bye.
Okay.